Just like League of Legends and Dota, Smite is a multiplayer online battle arena. But unlike them, you don't click to move around or click enemies to attack them. Smite uses WASD, making it very familiar and easy to grasp. This ease of use is what got me in the first place. It's just one less barrier when starting the game. One more barrier that it raises though are the skill shots. This means you must aim your ranged attacks to hit anything. There are no free hits, you must earn them all. I feel like trying out a new MOBA. Typically, the biggest hurdle is learning what the gods, heroes, champions, or whatever do. What are their abilities? Where do they fit in? What are their strengths and weaknesses? And some matchups that I might need to avoid. Buying items is another thing that's quite daunting, but using auto buy is pretty good to rely on as you get used to the game. The largest benefit that Smite has is Arena, a mode that other MOBAs have since copied for good reason. Arena is a no-stakes open coliseum game mode which allows you to just use abilities and focus on taking out enemy gods. There are no towers, objectives, or even required method of playing. It's like a version of Team Deathmatch or Slayer from traditional action games. Pick a god you are interested in learning and then jump in and see what they do. Keep note on if they have any CC, which is crowd control. CC abilities affect enemies in various ways, like knocking them up, rooting them, which means they can't move, or just a full stun, which means they can't move or attack. CC is a term that is a means of controlling how or where the enemy navigates. Smite is very reliant on CC, so it's one of the first things you need to be aware of. Quick Play is a new mode in Smite 2 which allows you to play a more user-friendly version of the game, with faster projectiles, a dedicated dodge button, an easier quick buy system, and a new action camera, making the game truly a third-person shooter. Use this last feature sparingly, since as of right now, Conquest and every other mode that isn't quick play uses the base version of Smite 2 without any of these, and especially the third-person camera. Whether you look all the way up or all the way down, your ranged basic attacks and abilities are on a fixed plane in front of you. Also worth noting that basic attacks all reach up to a certain point in front of you, which is one of the reasons I have a ruler on the ground in-game to help me line up these shots. A very unique aspect of Smite is the VGS system. The VGS is a means of communicating with your team without using your microphone. On PC, pressing the V key will put you in the menu. Then there are categories of interest you may want to convey to your team. If you want to tell them to attack something, you start with V and A. 1, 2, and 3 being the different lanes, F being the Fire Giant, and G being the Gold Fury, for example. Or saying V and then S is talking about yourself. This takes some getting used to, but you should learn it in no time as your teammates start using it.
Minions have spawned.
You're pretty cool. Cancel that.
Speaking of aspects, that's a new feature to Smite 2. An aspect is a way that you can change the way your god plays, whether it changes what their ability does or it changes the damage that they do. This can also mean that they are playable in a different role, like Nua's aspect makes her more of an ADC and Ganesha's aspect makes him more of a solo lane as opposed to a support. Something to take note of is that when you open the scoreboard, you can take a look and see who has an aspect enabled. They're working on a way that you can learn this just by the loading screen, but as of right now, the only way to know is the scoreboard. Any god that has that hexagon next to their picture on your scoreboard has their aspect activated. You can hover it and read more about it if you don't already know what it does. Just something to keep in mind. Some verbiage I'll be using... Is it verbiage or verbiage? Siri, is it pronounced verbiage or verbiage?
Verbiage, pronounced verbiage, is a noun that comes
What?
from the Middle French word verbier. This is from Grammarly.com.
What? Verbiage? I'll just say verbiage. Some verbiage I'll be using going forward are strength and int. All damage in the game uses either strength or magical damage, meaning intelligence, or int. It's best to learn about 3 gods in different roles, basically to prepare yourself to jump into Conquest. Quick note, this is the current meta of the game in 2025, and things can change rather quickly, so take this information at face value. Looking at the map, the lane on the outside of the Gold Fury, which is an early to mid-game objective in the jungle, is the duo lane, consisting of a carry and a support. The carry are typically ranged hunters that use strength as opposed to int to deal damage. Good starting gods for this role are Medusa, Artemis, or Anhur. For the support role, these are the tanks. They stay in the lane with the ADC for about 6 to 8 minutes into the match before roaming around to aid in other lanes or team fights. The reason for this is so that they don't split the experience and gold with the carry, allowing for them to level up as quick as possible. I play a lot of support, and how I play is to basically be annoying the enemy team while also warding for my carry to give them vision in the jungle and jumping in to help them when they get overrun. Good gods for support are Ares, Geb, and Cerberus. Tanks mostly build off intelligence, but that shouldn't matter much since you'll be buying defense items and actives to aid your team. Mid lane is the lane right down the middle and is usually played by a mage. All mages build off intelligence, and mid lane is the most dangerous lane since you can be flanked or ganked from either side at any time. Good mages for the middle lane are Agni, Merlin, and Scylla. The solo lane is the other lane near the big red camp, which is the Fire Giant. A late game objective that can turn the tides of a game, but that's really nothing to worry about early on since about 12 minutes in, the laning phase wraps up and you'll be traveling around the map with your team anyways. The solo lane can basically be played by any role except supports, but are typically warriors, which are physical based melee gods that build damage and tank items to give themselves sustain and maintain that front line. Some gods good for the solo lane are Hercules, Bellona, or Amaterasu. Solo lanes are also very competitive and quite tricky. Since the goal in every lane is to get fed by farming and getting early kills, the solo lane in particular can be won or lost very early on in a match. Dude, I fed Bellona pretty hard. She's level 17.
Wait, what? That's insane, man.
The jungler is the last role and is the backbone of the team, if you ask me. Their job is to farm in the jungle by getting various camps and ganking lanes to secure their teammates' kills. Junglers are typically assassin type roles, meaning melee strength gods with high mobility, with either a dash or a leap. Some lower level gods good for jungling are Fenrir, Loki, and Hunbats. Each role has jungle buffs that are your responsibility, basically. The support and carry have the purple buff for the carry. Mid has the red damage buff, which is sometimes shared with the jungler, while the jungler also has the speed camp. And the solo lane has a blue buff, which grants mana regen. This also means that when a window comes to stealing your enemy's buffs, it can benefit you greatly, mainly by leaving them at a disadvantage. There are also camps found throughout the jungle that are placed towards the center, much like the Gold Fury and the Fire Giant. These camps are to be fought over since they give you bonus gold and experience outside of the minion wave. Speaking of the minion wave, Smite 2 does have last hitting, meaning that the final attack on a minion will grant you slightly higher experience and gold. But this isn't completely necessary unless you're the team's carry. It goes without saying, but each lane has 3 towers, the tier 1, tier 2, and the Phoenix, each having increased health and increased importance to take down. Looking at tower health in each lane is a good indication of that god's progression and if they're falling behind. Destroying the enemy Phoenix is key. It'll spawn fire minions in that lane, which will give them vastly higher attack damage and health, which allows them to take out regular minions with ease and flood the enemy Titan with damage. Eliminating the enemy Titan is the main objective of the game. I should have mentioned that. While we're looking at the map, it's worth noting that there are teleporters that activate currently 10 minutes into the match. You channel it, and it takes you from the duo lane to the solo lane and vice versa.
An enemy has been slain.
Oh shit, they came back.
All of them are here.
I can't, it's on cooldown, I can't TP over. These are great for rotating quickly and joining fights early to help your teammates. The 2 objectives I mentioned in passing are the Fire Giant and the Gold Fury. Both are pretty tough to get, so you'll want a few teammates to help you grab them. The Gold Fury is a strong enemy that can walk around their battle arena and do one basic attack. They grant the team that kills it a chunk of gold to spend in the shop. I believe the team as a whole gets 1600. Total gold that each team has earned can be seen at the top of the screen. This is a good indicator of how each team is doing, since more gold means more items, which means you're stronger than your opponent. The Gold Fury scales throughout the game and it grants different benefits as you play. It's typically defeated at least 3 to 4 times a match. The Fire Giant is the important one. A giant boss objective that doesn't roam around the arena but has multiple area of effect attacks that do high damage. This takes much longer to defeat but grants a huge performance buff to every ally still alive. This includes increased mana and health regen, plus increased strength and intelligence. This will tip team fights heavily in your favor. It's very important to note that every single objective on the map, including the Fire Giant and Gold Fury, the benefits go to the team that dealt the killing blow. This is very common for Gold Furies to get stolen and for Fire Giants to grant a team the buff that barely did any damage to it. For these instances, it's probably best to have wards to watch out for incoming enemies, or just have an ally keep watch and slow enemies down before they get a chance to steal. I gave you a gist of the game. It's up to you to play, discover, and learn. Look into the relics and what they do so you know the best one to get. Check out the starter items, which cater to different roles in specific ways. Find out if you should be building defense or offense, maybe crit or lifesteal or anti-heal. Smite 2 has incredible replay value if you ask me. always different ways to play and combo abilities together with your allies. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave the video a like and subscribe to the channel, both of which are free to do and they help me out a lot. Thanks. Check out my socials in the description. I'll see you all in the next one. Stay safe.